Hey everyone. Yeah, so Future Primitive is the company that I started. My background for the last 6 years, I was part of the team that launched CryptoKitties, and we defined the ERC-721 standard, and that's how I met Poseidon, and he invited me to the first Outliers meetup or network in Seattle, and that's how I met a lot of folks. Ended up at Dapper Labs. We worked on a bunch of things. I was leading one of the main product teams for NBA Top Shot. So it's been an interesting journey to see NFTs from literally like 12 people in a room, Gabby from YGG and several others, grow to the $80 billion NFT market to date. And so I co-founded this company with Steve Giang. Steve is really well known. He's based in the Bay Area. He's also a founding partner of Kindred Ventures, early investor of Uber, and advisor, and Jaden's our CTO. So I'm here to talk to you about a really interesting thing, and it's something I've been thinking a lot for the last 6+ years. Is I love NFTs to death, but at the same time I feel like they're broken. They've kind of reached their maximum output, at least in the current state of things. I think speculation is a really big one, and I kind of denoted it into three main problems with NFTs. One is when we defined the 721 standard, it was very basic, right? It was the idea that a digital unique object can be owned and acquired. And by acquiring it, you only had really three things you could do: buy, sell, and trade. And ultimately, that's been what we've seen in the last 6 years of NFTs. Number two is when we launched CryptoKitties, there was no L2 rollups, right? So we just imagined that NFTs should live on mainnet, and then maybe L1s, and then we just never saw like the scale of things that have evolved now to present day. And then third is CryptoKitties was never a PFP, right? Like they were cute and cuddly, and you could collect them and play in the game of breeding. But this recent rise of PFPs was really interesting because people started to become associated with their NFTs. And so digging a little bit deeper, what really shocked me was 6 years ago when we were writing the contracts for CryptoKitties, like the breeding contracts. It was extremely difficult. Like we had to write it from scratch. There was no reference. We also had to get it audited and all of that, right? It's time consuming. And when I left Dapper Labs 2 years ago and I started launching my own NFTs with custom on-chain mechanics, I realized that nothing has changed. You still have to write a custom smart contract from scratch because, what I realized is smart contracts are not really composable, which, in this space we talk about a lot, but it's true. If you have a breeding mechanic on CryptoKitties, you can't really just copy it and paste it into your own project. You have to modify it quite a lot, actually. The second thing is bridging is broken. So specifically for NFTs, I think bridging for ERC-20 tokens are fine. But if you want to bring an NFT from Solana to Polygon, well, you either lock it up in a contract or you burn it and then you mint a clone on another chain. And that's troublesome because you're really destroying the provenance of the asset. The third thing is, for the last 6 years, as the wallet ecosystem has grown, wallets have really become our identities with ENS names, and you connect to dApps to them, you own tokens inside of them. But NFT hasn't evolved at all, right? You keep it in a ledger, you screenshot it for a PFP, you hold till the floor rises or drops, and that's pretty much it. And so today, I'm here to talk about ERC-6551, or token bound accounts. In short form, we call it TBAs. And it brings three new benefits to the entire NFT ecosystem. So it's important to know that token bound accounts, or 6551, is not a token standard. So it's not here to replace 721 or NFTs. It actually works complementary with 721. And so these three new features are really amazing. One is we believe in a future where, right now, if you spend $250,000 and you buy a Bored Ape, right, you own the asset, which is great. It's in your wallet, but you don't control the utility. So you're waiting on the Yuga Labs or the other developers to launch some sort of utility on chain. And if they don't launch anything, well, too bad, so sad, right? You own the asset, but you don't control the utility. And so we actually see a future with token bound accounts being the general account and utility layer that you can actually plug and play breeding, battling, wrapping, staking, nesting, all these things into your NFT. And you can do so as the owner of the NFT. That dramatically changes the relationship, right? You're no longer waiting on the developers to launch something. You yourself can take control. And then number two is the NFT lives on every EVM chain. I'm about to walk you through what that looks like, but that is the future that we think NFTs should have accounts across all of EVM. And then third is you should be able to log in as your NFT on any different dApp. Instead of logging in as your MetaMask, you should be able to log in as your Azuki. So the first future state is because TBAs automatically attach themselves to every single NFT. What's really cool is that it opens it up for this future of what we call eventually will be an app store. And this app store will have things that we call custom light contracts. They are smart contracts, but they're much more lighter. And the logic of them is so much simpler. For example, if you wanted your NFT to earn ERC-20 tokens, well, that's super simple because every NFT now has a wallet or an account. It's a matter of just directing where the ERC-20 yield lands in. And so that's so much more simpler than what a lot of people had to do in the past. The second thing is we believe that NFTs should have a home chain. The home chain is where it lives, but the account of the NFT actually spans across all L2s. So that can be on Base Chain, could be in Zora, could be Optimism, Polygon. As long as it's EVM compatible, you'll be able to have a cross-chain feature for your NFT while it lives safely on mainnet. And so how do we solve that? We have a solution that's part of the protocol infrastructure. It's called a self-custodial bridge. And essentially, the high-level idea is that your NFT, let's say you have a doodles, right? And the token-bound account address for the doodle is 0x123. On all the other chains, L2 chains, it's 0x123 as well. And that's done through create2 deterministic addresses. So if you send an asset to 0x123 on Polygon, it's actually owned by the doodle on mainnet. And as you can see in this diagram, all we have to do in the bridging scenario is actually grant permission for you to actually control the account on the L2, and that's a lot safer because your NFT stays on its home chain and stays in full custody of yourself. Third is because every NFT now has a token-bound account address, you can literally send anything to it. It could be ETH, USDC, ERC-20, NFTs, of course. And you could even link an ENS to a NFT. And now with token-bound accounts, you could connect dApps as your NFT, own tokens, and all of that. And what's really important is how I think about the evolution of NFTs. So NFTs, I know I've been saying that word a lot, but for me, for the last 6 years, they've been static assets that sit in a wallet, one-dimensionally, right? You have a wallet and you have all your NFTs, right? And they don't really do anything except hopefully accrue value through long term. And I actually wrote a huge tweet thread about how I believe NFTs are going to, in this next phase, in this next chapter, will look more like mobile apps or even websites, where the NFT has a front end and a back end. And I don't mean in a centralized manner, I mean more on like an on-chain stack, right? So what I think about from a front end of an NFT is the media file, right? That's the photo, the video, the 3D asset, etc. The metadata, the trait is the front end, and then the renderer. And you're going to see a lot of innovation, a lot of new companies. You've probably already seen a bunch of them. There's already a bunch of ERC standards too that are targeting what I call the front end of the NFT, and that's everything that's like the visual, right? And for the back end of the NFT, for the last 6 years, this is pretty much the stark reality, right? You either write a custom logic, a custom contract that has the ability to link to another contract that could hold tokens, or you end up building a centralized database and call it a day. And even worse, some projects don't even have any utility. And so that's kind of the reality. And that's kind of how to think about TBAs. TBAs is serving as a really vital stack to this dynamic NFT future. It is more on the back end. It's the account and utility layer for all NFTs across the EVM. And that's how vital it is in this key puzzle of enabling a brighter future for NFTs. There's a really quick video here, 30 seconds. I'm a visual person, so this should help kind of explain. So yeah, every NFT has an account address. You could hold any token inside. You could connect with your NFT across any dApp that supports ERC-1271. That currently is like OpenSea, Uniswap, Gnosis Safe, and a bunch that already support it. Cool. So a little bit more about it. So how to think about it. Token bound accounts, if you've been following account abstraction or ERC-4337, it's effectively ERC-4337 for NFTs or account abstraction with a go-to-market plan. So this is a really interesting perspective, because I've always taken the stance that a wallet for the sake of a wallet is, a really difficult business, because you have to find distribution, right, and a go-to-market plan. For us, what we really care about is actually NFTs. We're kind of hitting two birds with one stone, where the NFT market needs to grow into this future of dynamic NFTs, and then also wallets need usage. So this is how we kind of think about, like, there's the huge wave that is the account abstraction wave, or MPC wallets, whichever you want to call it. And we're on that same wave. We're on that same team as well. We're surfing that wave. We just have a very different surfboard. Our surfboard's made out of NFTs, and other people have different surfboards that they're riding. So that's how to conceptualize and frame NFTs. And I'll quickly kind of blast through. So we already have a pretty huge developer community. That QR code, if you scan it, you'll join the community. It's about 1,700, almost 1,800 developers and builders. And the primary targets are in gaming, DAO, social network. In gaming, it's very obvious. Token bound account serves as the inventory or backpack for a character. If you've played any game and collected items in a game, well, TBA is that for every single NFT. And then we're starting to see people build what I call bring your own NFT games, where you could bring your own NFT, like a Doodles and a Moonbirds, and battle it. Parallel, which is a top 20 NFT, they're building a AAA Unreal Engine 5 game where the characters have AI models inside, and they go and collect different tokens as an NFT. In terms of DAOs, we're starting to see Coop Records. They are a decentralized music label, and they're releasing NFT memberships where every 2 weeks you earn like a new music NFT inside of that membership. Station is launching a NFT membership platform where every sticker, badge, POAP, Soulbound token goes inside of the NFT rather than the wallet. And then what's really fun is we have this side project. It's called what we call a retroactive DAO formation, or an RDF. And the really interesting thing is that you can actually resurrect dead NFT projects from the ground up. You can launch ERC-20 governance tokens inside of it, and all the NFTs in a collection. And because every NFT has a wallet, they can be a signer on a multi-sig. And so basically the DAO is formed from all the NFTs in that way, and you don't need any permission from the creator. What's also really cool is if you look closely, it's an NFT with a wallet or an account, right? But if you step back, what is actually being constructed here is what we call a token graph. It's a token graph of ownership and relationships. Because an NFT could own 5 NFTs that could own 10 NFTs, you're constructing a graph. And that's why a lot of decentralized social networks like Lens Protocol is using token bound accounts. Pinata is building a visualizer. Tribes, you can log in as your NFT and talk to other NFTs. And then, yeah, last but not least is in fashion, like thinking about a character wearing digital clothing. We even teamed up with IYK with some of their autograph modules. That's super cool. So that's kind of some of the high level use cases. And before I kind of do a quick little demo of how all this works, from the feature primitive side, the 6551 standard is an open source Ethereum standard, but we've constructed everything that you see there in orange in the last 3 quarters, including the contract implementation, which is at V3 and has been audited, protocol infrastructure that involves cross-chain, developer SDK, and then we're working on the platform. And, if you're probably asking yourself, how do I even play with this? Well, tokenbound.org is where you would go for now to kind of interact with your tokenbound accounts. Poseidon, do I have time to do the quick, it'll take like 3 minutes.
Yes, let's
Cool.
go.
Okay, so I'll show you a few things. This is a Sapiens, this is an NFT, right? And we have this kind of hack right now where you could embed an iframe, and the iframe actually allows you to display critical information. So what you're looking at here is a NFT here that owns other NFT that are digital clothing, right? And you can even see the assets, which include coins and all of that. So in the Sapiens website, I can actually equip NFTs that are in its ownership. And so I'm going to do that quickly here. And I'm going to click Save Change. So what you're actually witnessing here is a mainnet NFT that's fully on chain, equipping digital clothing that's in its ownership of a TBA, and it's fully gasless because the NFT is signing a message to prove that it owns it, right? And then the magic that you're about to see is that it's rendered immediately on OpenSea. And so this is a glimpse, this is a flagship project that we built with Jeff Staple, who runs a streetwear brand called Staple Pigeon. And it's an example of when you tie all these things together, it really unlocks this really amazing future. The other thing I'll show you is in the tokenbound.org website, we have a search bar where you can search for any collection. And what's really cool here is that you actually see every single address for every single Moonbird. And if you'd like, you can even export it as a CSV. Now, if you upload this CSV to some sort of airdrop platform and you have the money to airdrop tokens or whatever, you'd be airdropping to all the Moonbird's tokenbound accounts, which is super cool. The second thing is, this is my NFT that I own. It's called an All-Stars. It's here on OpenSea. And my All-Stars, I've been actually collecting really amazing things like CryptoKitties. I have an essay that I wrote that I minted there, and a Galverse, and even connected an ENS name, right? So what I'm going to show you is the ability to actually connect to a dApp as your NFT. So you can see here, this is the token bound account address 0x5e. You can click this button, it'll show you the contract on Etherscan. You'll see that this is different from my MetaMask. My MetaMask here is 0x411. It's a different address, right? So through Wallet Connect, that's temporarily, because we're really early, that's what we're using right now. So I'm going to use Wallet Connect, copy the code, and then click this button, connect with NFT. And you'll witness that this address here is 0x5e. Hopefully it works. Okay, so I've logged in. You can check here. I'm on the profile page of my OpenSea account, 0x5e. You can see all the assets that were in my tokenbound account. So effectively, I could be trading NFTs as my NFTs, which is kind of mind-blowing, right? Rather than my MetaMask. And you can do the same across the board. Like you could see here, 0x5e. I'm logged into Uniswap as my NFT, although it's not pulling the picture. That's part of the platform. Last but not least, this is probably a really important visualizer of a token graph. This is on testnet, but what you're looking at here is a Moonbird. Sorry, you see a Moonbird here that has a token bound account, and it owns a CloneX and a noun, etc. And then this CloneX owns the shirt. So what you're witnessing here is how complex a token graph can be constructed on chain. All these lines are essentially the NFT and an NFT and an NFT and an NFT, right? And it's fully on chain. And if I sell this Moonbird, everything that you've seen below it will actually be sold along with it. And the really amazing thing is it will cost the gas of one NFT transfer. So $3 to $5 of gas and you transfer, I don't know how many here, there are like 80 NFTs all at the same go, right? If I want to separate this noun from this moonbird, I could transfer it to my MetaMask and it will break this part of the graph. And so this is going to open up a whole new possibility of like dynamic NFTs and like the idea NFTs are like way more than just a static picture. So anyway, that concludes my demo and presentation. And yeah, I guess if there's any questions, let me know. Thank you.